about Maharaj Ji Neem Karoli Baba. Baba Neem Karori Maharaj was born in the village Akbarpur, now in Firozabad district, earlier in Agra district of Uttar Pradesh, India, in a wealthy Jamindar landlord family. He was born on Shukla Paksha Ashtami in the month of Margashirsha. His father's name was Sri Durga Prasad Sharma and mother's name was Srimati Kausalya Devi. At the time of his birth, scholars announced that he'll never shortfall of money in his life. His mother died in his early age. He was 8-9 years old at that time. He was married to Shubh Shri Ram Beti of village Badam Bas at the age of 11 years. So he was married to this young girl who was he was 11, she was 8-9 years. In those days, that was the normal thing. In Malaysia also it was like that only. Nothing can be said. Maharaji left his home at the age of 12 and returned after the gap of 10 to 12 years. Nothing can be said precisely about the activities of Maharaji during these years, but considering the facts, we get the following information about those years. First, he went to Rajasthan. From there, he went to Rajkot, Gujarat. Head of the temple was very much pleased with him by his service and devotion. He declared him as his successor. With this decision of head, some of his colleagues were not happy. To avoid any controversy, he left the place. After that, he reached the Bhavania village of Morbi district, Gujarat. There he continued his sadhana in a water pond near Ramabai ashram. He meditated for hours in pond. Similar exercise, meditation was done by Khopoli Baba. I met him. He also, for 9 years, he sat in the river and every day, from early morning till mid-afternoon or evening, whatever, and all his fingers and toes, everything was eaten away by the fishes. And there he was known as Talaiya Baba. After some time, he left Bhavania and reached to Neem Karori village in Farrukhabad district of Uttar Pradesh. From Bhavania, Maharaji set off on a journey around the country. While traveling, he arrived at the village Neem Karori in the district of Farrukhabad, and there he stopped to take some rest. Maharaji's speech was divine, and although he had little contact with the villagers, whatever he told them came true. They became attached to him and beseeched him to stay. They built an underground cave for him in which he immersed himself in spiritual practice all day. No one saw him coming out even to attend the call of nature. He came out only in the darkness of the night. Later, a new cave, which still exists, was dug out about 200 meters from the old one on a neglected piece of land owned by a Brahmin named Govardhan. Maharaji had a Hanuman temple built on the roof of this cave, and on that day, on the day of consecration, he shaved his long matted hair and started wearing a long cotton dhoti, lungi, instead of the loincloth. After moving to the new cave, Maharaji started interacting more with the villagers. He developed a friendly association with the younger people of his age group and often participated in their sports. He mingled with them so freely that it was not possible for them to be overawed by the peculiarities of his astonishing deeds. While playing hide and seek, he was able to locate any one of them instantly. फिर क्या फायदा हुआ? Instantly, wherever they might be hidden in the forest. But when his turn came, he became invisible and was not to be found anywhere. While climbing trees in the forest, his pursuers would follow him up one tree only to reach the top and see him sitting on another. No one saw him leaping from one tree to the other. While swimming in the village pond, Baba would disappear under the water and come out after a long time. It was all a matter of amazement and fun for them. During this period, a poor bird catcher named Gopal became Maharajji's ardent devotee and came to attend to him every day. One day, forgetting Maharajji's instructions not to enter his cave, Gopal made the mistake of going in with a pot of milk that he had brought for him. He found Maharajji in deep meditation with serpents wrapped around his body. He was so horrified to see Maharajji in this Shiva-like form that his legs gave way and the pot of milk slipped from his hands. He ran outside and fainted. Maharajji came out and lifted him up, saying, "You should not have entered the cave without permission." It was by Maharajji's touch alone that Gopal regained consciousness. One time Maharajji did not get food for several days. This was more of his leela. The villagers said that he appeared agitated. He shouted at the holy image of Hanuman he shouted at the holy image of Hanuman, an incarnation of Shiva and beloved devotee of Lord Ram. He is the reliever of suffering, the embodiment of blessing, and a bridge between people and God. "Will you starve me to death?" he asked. No sooner did he say these words that several people came to the temple with plates full of fruits and sweets. Showing disrespect to the deity was an incomprehensible act, but the villagers believed that Maharajji could do no such thing because he was not a devotee of Hanuman but Hanumanji himself. One day Maharajji was on his way to the Ganges where he used to bathe on the auspicious day of Ekadashi and Purnima. He was walking with the devotee Gopal and a Muslim companion when he saw a train traveling towards Farrukhabad on which he wished to travel. The moving train, which was about 200 meters away, suddenly stopped and did not move further until Maharajji and his attendant boarded. As soon as Maharajji sat down, the train continued its journey. Later on, at the request of the villagers who wished to keep the memory of the event alive, the government of India set up a railway station at the place where Baba boarded and named it Baba Lakshman Das Puri Station. And Maharajji was called Baba Lakshman Das Puri by the villagers of Neep Karori. On another occasion, Maharajji went to Farrukhabad from Neep Karori in the first class compartment of a train. Seeing the sadhu-like appearance, an Anglo-Indian conductor told him to get off the train at the next station. Maharajji got down and took a seat on the platform. Despite all efforts of the station staff, the train did not move. Its departure was delayed for 2 hours. The conductor could not explain the problem since no mechanical defect was found. In fact, the engine was running, but the wheels would not turn. All the compartments of the train were checked thoroughly and no fault was found anywhere. While the authorities were deliberating over the problem, some railway employees asked Maharajji in jest to make the train move. Maharajji said, I am turned out of the train and you are asking me to let it go." An employee replied, "Perhaps you had no ticket." At this, Maharajji showed them several genuine first-class tickets. Amazed, they begged him to reboard the train and let it move. Maharajji willed it to be so, and the train moved instantly. From then on, Baba Lakshman Das became famous as Baba Neep Karori and Baba from Neep Karori village. In 1935, a rich man came to Neep Karori and offered Maharajji a silver plate full of gold coins in the presence of Govardhan and some other Brahmins. Maharajji did not accept the offering. His rejection of it antagonized the Brahmins, for they had wanted Maharajji to give them the money. Later, another rich man came to Neep Karori bringing 30 cans of ghee, clarified butter, for the forthcoming fire ceremony, the Havan. On the full moon day, Maharajji was in Farrukhabad at the time, taking a bath in the Ganges. In his absence, the Brahmins spoke to the rich man in a derogatory way about Maharajji and persuaded him to go away with his cans of ghee. Maharajji could see all that was happening at Neep Karori from Farrukhabad. And on his return, he reprimanded the Brahmins and gave up the idea of performing the annual yagya. One day, shortly thereafter, he left the village. He had lived there for 18 years. After leaving Neep Karori, Maharaj Ji lived for some time on the bank of Gangaji at Kali Ghat in Fatehgarh. Then he associated with the local people and even reared some cows. To the amusement of his devotees, the cows obeyed Maharajji's commands. During his stay, he gave his blessings and darshan to many soldiers. He also changed the heart of Colonel J.C. McKenna, his first Western devotee who had been averse to Indian saints and monks. After leaving Kalighat, Maharajji wandered from place to place. Nothing can be said for certain about where he went and what he did during those times. There was, however, a steady growth of reverence for him among people in the towns of Bareilly, Haldwani, Almora, Nainital, Kanpur, Lucknow, Vrindavan, Allahabad, and also in Delhi, Shimla, and even Madras, a far off city in the south. Without any publicity, urban and rural Indians of all ages, castes, and classes, as well as people from the West, became Baba's devotees. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, and even atheists were drawn to him. V.V. Giri, former President of India, Gopal Swarup Pathak, former Vice President of India, Justice Vasudev Mukherjee, Jugal Kishore Birla, famous industrialist Sumitra Nandan Pant, the poet Dada Sudhir Mukherjee, Professor Allahabad University, Ramdas, Harvard Professor, Krishna Das, Grammy Awards nominee, Jai Uttal, famous musician, and Dr. Larry Brilliant, UNO smallpox eradication program, and many other noted personalities were great devotees of Maharajji. Steve Jobs, Apple Computers, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Julia Roberts, Hollywood actress, ये कहाँ उसको मिली उनको ये and Mark Zuckerberg also did not meet him. हाँ, they became followers. We are also followers. हमारा नाम क्यों नहीं है? इतनी दूर से आए हैं. And other well-known and distinguished persons were not lucky. ठीक बोला. Were not lucky enough to have darshan of Maharajji in person, but had great respect for him. During the 1940s, Maharajji began spending more time in Nainital. Many of the town's inhabitants became devoted to him. If they saw Baba going anywhere, they would leave their business or chores and, like carefree beings, followed him wherever he went. There was an inexplicable bliss in the households that Maharajji visited. No effort was needed to find out where he was in the town at any particular moment, because his presence could be felt by the spirit of joy and festivity pervading that place. He would occasionally stay in the houses of his devotees, but he spent much of his time on the secluded Manora hillside, about 2 kilometers outside of the town. Sometimes he would pass the nights on the roadside parapets, and householders, devotees accustomed to domestic comforts, would remain awake with him all night, night after night, and still attend to their usual routine during the day. Instead of feeling fatigued, they felt a new spirit of energy. Just last para. In the early 1950s, Maharajji started to build first temple, which he named Hanumanji, constructed on the Manora hillside. Over the next 2 decades, he also had temples in some places, ashrams constructed in Bhumiadhar, Kainchi, Kakri Ghat, Vrindavan, Kanpur, Lucknow, Shimla, Delhi, and other places. Maharajji valued the temples and ashrams, but he had no desire or attachment for them. As soon as each temple was completed, he would turn its management over to a local trust. Because of the social limitations faced by women in India, Maharajji made a special facilities available to them in the ashrams. Consequently, the women devotees adored Maharaji as their guru, father, brother, or son, according to their feelings. They participated in all the activities of the ashrams and contributed greatly to the spirit of service that Maharaji encouraged. Many visitors were fed every day in Maharaji's ashram and given packets of prasad, blessed food, to carry home for their families. The visiting ascetics were offered money and blankets as well as food. Maharaji would say, "If you do not empty the stock, how can it be replenished?" Just as the sun never sees darkness, Maharaji never faced a shortage of anything. He devoted time towards his responsibility of a householder, and at the same time he continued to look after his bigger family, that is the world at large. However, there was no difference in his life and style of living when discharging his duties of a householder or that of a saint. In his family, as a householder, he has two sons and a daughter. From the 1950s until his Mahasamadhi, Maharaji visited the temples and ashrams but never stayed in one place for long. Wherever he stayed, he lived simply and was always concerned with the welfare of others. Like a benevolent father, he shed his grace on all. Maharaji's devotees came from all walks of life, and although some of them led lives of dissipation, he did not always insist on making them give up their bad habits. On the contrary, he gave them opportunity to carry on and spend time in their company. In due course, they gave up their bad habits on their own. He often told people, all are born in this world with natural wisdom, and God is the great giver of this wisdom. Whenever Maharaj Ji addressed an atheist or a wicked person as a devotee or saint, he showed a seed of goodness that often brought about a change. With the passage of time, the seed would sprout, grow, bloom, and finally bear fruit. It was common for such people to pass through a transformation. Maharaji treated everyone equally. Although saints generally maintain distance from women, Maharaji mingled with them freely. He could playfully hold the hand of any woman and without any hesitation catch hold of her nose and tweak it for fun. Nothing was seen as inappropriate in his behavior. Both male and female devotees pressed and massaged his feet. His presence and touch communicated such good thoughts and feelings that everyone felt uplifted. Maharaji regarded all human beings as his own children and treated them accordingly. He often said, "You feel pestered with a few children, but I have so many." Two paragraphs. Maharaji treated like parents with children. Maharaji was familiar with everyone. He addressed even eminent persons using the words tu and tum, and he used hum to refer to himself. His use of informal language was soaked with love and affection. His utterances like "तुम समझते नहीं, हमारी कही सुनो, you do not understand, listen to what I say, and हमें बावला मत बनाओ, हम सब जानते हैं, don't drive me mad, I know everything," delighted everyone. A devotee said that Maharaj once asked a group of people who had gathered to see him, "Why do you come to me?" Maharaj answered himself saying, "You come to me because of my love for you." He nurtured the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world as one family, and would say that love binds all together. His blood relations, along with countless others, merged within his worldwide family. Devotees only learned about Maharaj's relatives when his last rites were performed. Maharaj said, "The whole universe is our home, and all residing in it belong to our family. Every woman is a mother or a sister, and every man a father or a brother. This is all God's family. You can do service of the highest order only if your thoughts are centered on God." Instead of trying to see God in a particular appearance, it is better to see Him in everything. On 11th September 1973, Maharajji left his physical body in Vrindavan. Maharajji came to Agra from Kainchi, took his younger son Sri Dharma Narayan Sharma, came to Vrindavan in accordance with his planning to end his Bhautik Leela. Much remains a mystery about him and his Leela before and after this date. K.M. Munshi, former governor of Uttar Pradesh, wrote, "Nobody knows where he came from or where he went away to, nor is his original name known to anyone. What we know about him is only by his grace. He is a perfect example of how the eternal power assumes human form and dwells for a time amidst the masses." Jai Gurudev. Bolo Neem Karori Baba ki Jai.